I gave a lecture at Oberlin and Georgetown a year ago, and they organized safe spaces for students who were triggered by, it was a philosophy professor was going to induce PTSD because of what they objected to is that I might have some ideas that invalidate their experience.
They're institutionalizing neurosis.
It's
what they're doing.
True.
It's absolute madness.
And have you heard the fashion on campus now is called intersectional feminism. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's supposedly very progressive, and it's going to take feminism to a place where it is taking account of women with multiply marginalized identities, on and on. But all of the women, the practitioners, seem to meet at the intersection of propaganda and neurosis and rage. And they're bullying people. They're using feminism now. They're telling men, check your privilege. Mm-hmm. And
I think it's a good idea that feminism be critiqued by class issues, because
yes.
What I have said all along is that what is being demanded is a kind of bourgeois protection, okay, a white middle class girl, okay, a kind of style, okay, the perfect little girl emerging from her parents' living room wants the same kind of protections on the college campus. Right? So I've always felt there was a bourgeois element in this that was never sufficiently critiqued, and that what I see on the street are Latino women, African American women, okay, who may be middle class but have a working class background, as I did, as an from an Italian immigrant family, who are able to handle themselves on the street, able to speak back, don't mind having strong voices and strong gestures.
Well, intersectionality started with those women. So it was a group of African American women who were just fed up with the women's movement attending only to the needs of highly professional middle class, upper middle class women. But it has been appropriated by mostly middle-class white women on the campus. Mm-hmm. So safe space was actually a word that was used in early black feminism, as where black women could just, and Hispanic women, places where they could just talk to each other and they weren't censored and they could mm-hmm. speak their minds. But now it means a place where, for example, young women at Brown University, if there's a debate that upsets them, they flee to a safe space where it was described in the New York Times by Judith Shulevitz. They had coloring books, crayons, tapes of frolicking puppies, bubbles. I mean, this is what feminism has come to.
And it's what education has come to, okay? Absolutely. The definition down, they're therapeutic, what can I say? Therapeutic resorts is what education has turned into.
Oh, yes, they have feeling circles. They have reflection journals, and it's this odd mix of mm-hmm. therapy and mm-hmm. and anger, mm-hmm. because the good word for this style of activism, they call them cry bullies, and because they combine, they're both victim and victimizer, mm-hmm. and they sort of do to other people this new style of campus intersectionality. They actually do to other people what they claim was done to them. Mm-hmm. They treat people, they objectify, and they stereotype, and they demonize, and then they try to get people punished.
Well, Christina, this is coming from the public schools, all right? It's coming from their public school education, which was devoid of knowledge of world history and world geography, and it is nothing but navel-gazing and diversity training and being in all kinds of instructions about social interaction. When in fact, if the atrocities of history were revealed to young people, okay, they would be able to put their own little hurt feelings into perspective.
They have no perspective.
No.
And I think these anti-bullying programs, they're learning that even the slightest insult is a major event. You must bring in the adults. It was terrible. He called me a name. Yeah. So they come to college thinking that if someone disagrees with them or says something that's distressing, that it's a catastrophe.
Yeah. This is what I call my feminism. Amazon feminism. I've called it drag queen feminism, right. Street smart feminism, because the drag queens of old knew how to handle themselves on the street. Okay, they could be a 6 foot tall, African American guy, okay, in a dress, okay, and he knew how to pull off his high heels and defend himself on the street, okay, and what a tongue they had, etc. And now everything is about weakening students, not strengthening them.